And I won't lead in all the way, but, welcome to the pre-show. Welcome, Facebook. I don't think Facebook's on. Welcome, viewers on YouTube and Twitch and all that good stuff. We're going to talk about wide receivers. I'm pretty pumped.
I'm pumped as well, but...
Brian, are you pumped?
I'm pumped. I mean, it's a hell of a class, so I'm pumped to talk about them.
Yeah, that's what
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it right.
What the hell ever.
I'm going to get it.
The only thing I notice on the episodes, you can hear us much more than you. Because for some reason, you like to go, Pilot J.
Oh, yeah.
He likes to corn cob that thing. Oh, yeah.
Laney's close just so.
Wow. Okay.
Anyhow. Yeah. All right, that's enough.
Hux, if you're going to be like a threesome with me in arms, you got to take the razzing that we've always gave each other.
No.
Whatever.
No, I don't. I have a superior beard to you.
I really don't have to.
Okay.
You're going to, and you're going to like it.
You're going to like it. Yeah.
You're going to like it.
There, Keemster. Keemstar.
I don't even know that guy. Fuck that guy.
You mean Great Value Hux?
Great Value Sam's Hux. Old Sam's Hux. Sam's Choice Hux.
Yes, I think it is Sam's Choice Hux. So, yeah, like we were talking about on the last show, this class is just,
loaded.
It's incredible.
Absolutely loaded.
And, here's the thing. So, as I'm trying to go through and actually watch a decent amount of film on each guy, I know good and well that I'm going to talk about, 8 to 10 guys today. And guess what? 3 of them are going to be out of my top 10 by next week. You know what I mean? I'm going to grab my notebook.
No, Vern. No one's watching yet. Well, one person's watching, but I'm excited to talk about the network a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I assume you weren't doing the.
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm working on it, buddy.
You got time.
I'm
you got all
working
the time
on it,
in the world.
I
thought she shot you down or something.
I want to do it. No, I kind of pitched the idea to her, and she was like, "What's the point?"
Just for fun.
Yeah. So
for fun,
yeah.
Are you ever home by yourself? I know.
No.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
What is that? I don't even know what that's like.
Is it snowing?
It is.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Should we start the show? The hordes of people are like, yes, start the show. Start the show. Start the Stoops was supposed to come on, but I've not heard from him.
Effing Stoops.
I really haven't heard from him, so I don't.
If he gets hold of us,
he's a great guy.
Oh, he's a great guy.
All right, let's get this fired up.
Oh my God.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we happily talk about the top 8 to 10 wide receivers, at least in the eyes of most analysts, in the 2020 NFL Draft. There may be some surprises, maybe some downgrades on the way. So Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hux.
Hey-o, it's the Back Row Fantasy Show again. It's me, Bark, as always, and to my left is Arms, as always.
Good morning.
Mostly. And to my right is Hux, as always, mostly.
Hey, what's up?
And sometimes it's not even me, mostly. So, always, mostly, I don't know.
I'm just going to say always.
Sometimes we all miss a little here and there, but we did not want to miss this one.
Yes.
This is our wide receiver show for the 2020 NFL Draft. We're going to go through what a lot of folks believe is the consensus 8 to 10 guys. And there's some surprises in it for me. But one thing you can say about this class, while it may not look elite immediately, it is deep. I don't think it's elite. I think it is deep with potential number 1 wide receivers and deep with potential number 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
I think when you get to the number 3 guys that project as a 3 in the league, we're talking like 30 deep before it gets to 3.
So I was randomly watching a video earlier today, just as we're going through our looking for highlights, and I happened to notice that they talked about the most wide receivers ever taken and I believe it's in the first round.
Right.
And it was, I want to say it was the 2004 draft. Now, the receivers taken. So you got Larry Fitzgerald,
Okay.
Hall of Famer, first ballot, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Roy Williams,
Oh, man, he was something.
Reggie Williams,
Okay.
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans?
Yep.
New York Jets?
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo, buddy.
Lee Evans?
Yeah.
Michael Clayton.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Lee Evans.
Okay.
He had a pretty good career.
Did he?
Yeah.
So Michael Clayton. Let's see. There's another one in here. And Michael Jenkins from Ohio State and went to the Falcons. And number 31, you had Rashawn Woods from Oklahoma State.
I haven't heard. You know what?
So literally, the people, whenever the second best receiver in your draft class is Michael Jenkins,
yeah.
you got kind of a shit draft class.
Dude, I now remember
I mean,
Lee
first
Evans.
round anyway. I do too, actually.
Some good stuff. I remember him. It was one of those names. Me and Neil came over yesterday. We're working on, I'm going to do a shameless plug real quick. We are working on the Back Row Network. So what the Back Row Network is going to be, eventually, it's going to take a while because you don't just find 32 solid podcasters in a day. But we're going to take all 32 teams. Each team's going to get their own Back Row show, Back Row Dolphins show, Back Row Raiders show. You're not running it, but Back Row Bills show possibly with Hux.
We'll see how it turns out.
We'll see how-
if he doesn't do such a good job, so the pressure's on.
The pressure's on.
I might take it over.
So we're going to do all 32 of those shows. And Neil came over. Neil's heading up the Back Row Patriots show. This is just something we want to show love for our teams in a very back row way. We also want to show love to podcasters of the future and podcasters of now. So if you think that you have what it takes to run your team's Back Row show, by all means, hit me up at bark@backrowfantasyshow.com or hit us up on Twitter through DMs or any other place that we are on social media. And let me know, because the applications, which are voice clips, are coming in. I'm really excited about every single show currently. Dan Rozier is doing the Giants. He's a writer for us and going
Love
for two. Dan's amazing. Got some great kids to do the Cowboy show. I'm really pumped about them. So if you want to do your team, go ahead. Give us a call. Give us an email. Anyways, so Neil comes over. We're doing the Patriots show, and he mentions Mushin Muhammad. How long's it been since you heard that name?
It's been a little while.
That when you said Lee Evans, I thought I was just talking about guys that we forgot about, like Mushin Muhammad, Lee Evans. The list kind of goes on and on. Keenan McCardle gets forgotten about.
Oh, yeah, Jaguars.
I mean, Jimmy Smith, guys.
Also
that,
Jaguar.
yeah, guys that put up big production that we just kind of forget about. And man, this wide receiver class
Derek
coming
Mason.
in. Derek Mason, that's a good one. I mean, but there's so many good wide receivers in this class. I'm pretty pumped about this wide receiver class, especially for fantasy purposes.
The crazy thing about this class is I will honestly say I think that there is more talent. Well, there's more wide receiver talent definitely than that 2004 class that somehow got 7 people in the first round.
Yeah.
But the problem with it, there's so much talent. Some of these guys in most years that would be a first or second rounder might slip into the late third. Like, that's how good this class is.
It looks great. I mean, there's guys on my list that I know are probably early third round picks. Well, maybe not. Top 10, they might all go. They should all go in the first 2 rounds, but there's going to be value everywhere. What's one?
Antonio Gandy-Golden.
Antonio Gandy-Golden.
AGG.
A guy that we're high on that we're probably not going to talk about much. You might have him on your
I've
list.
got a little bit, but
There's going to be the sleeper episodes of this show are going to be worth a listen because it's going to go deep. We've still got a month, almost 2 months to go to get these guys their proper due on the show. But man, I am beyond excited about this wide receiver class. The running back class is great. The quarterback class is great. But when you're a fan of your favorite football team, knowing you could get a guy that could start for you in round 3, 4, maybe even 5,
so
pretty exciting.
As a Raiders fan, I'm sitting here with, like, I think we've got the 12th pick, and then, I want to say we have another. I know we have another one in the first. I want to say 18-ish,
18, yep.
and then I believe we've got our second. So I'm sitting there like, man, could we get Jerry Jeudy and maybe come back in the second round with, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's going to fall because it's kind of like pick your poison, but could a Justin Jefferson fall to us? You know what I mean?
I get what
you get my point, though.
I get what you're saying.
If that's not what somebody, not the flavor of the day, if Michael Pittman Jr., one of those guys, I'm just, wow.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
Like the Dolphins, one of the last things they need, honestly, because they need everything so badly, is wide receiver. But I'm like, could we maybe add a guy like kid from Penn State, KJ Hamler? Could we add a guy like that at the end of the second round, early third? The possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah,
with this class.
This is one that I'm the type of class I don't feel like I'm going to look too much at draft capital.
Right, landing spot's going to be huge because
Yeah.
there's so many talented guys in this class. That being said, should we go ahead and dive into them? I'm curious to see how excited I am. I'm curious to see if we have a consensus number one. That being said, Hux,
Yeah.
I think you're the only person.
you're the
who
only
needs to
person
tell
that
us who
we
your
were
number one is.
wondering on. So who is your number one?
Jerry Jeudy.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's a consensus.
He didn't
number
even have
one.
to look at mine.
No,
And he already
I know
knew.
better. I know that
it's-
Arms loves
it's
Alabama.
Close. I mean, he's going to stay number one for me, but
Same.
you
Yeah.
can probably make an argument. I can make an argument for
There's arguments.
Lamb.
Absolutely.
Probably the only other person I can really argue, but for me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of see it sort of similar to the quarterback situation. You got two clear-cut guys, and the wide receivers are kind of the same. There's two clear cuts, but I don't think
the
it would
tiers
shock.
aren't
I
as
was gonna
far
say,
apart.
Yeah,
No, they're
that's what I was
not.
going to say.
Yeah.
You don't have like a 1 and 1A, and then like
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with this guy if I couldn't get those guys. It's
Right.
like, man, they're right behind him.
And there's multiple guys on down through the top 10 that will not surprise me if they're better than both of those guys, Jeudy and Lamb.
So, Hux, obviously Judy's your guy. What's your thoughts on him? So I'm going to run through just his stats. 6'1" is what he measured at. 4'4", 540, 35-inch vertical. I mean, the kid's explosive, fast. Here, I'll just go ahead and give you what I think. He's a smooth route runner. He's a good route runner.
That's
The best
that's
route
big-
runner in the
yeah,
class.
That's the best thing about him.
But I don't think he's Calvin Ridley smooth. My comp to him,
I do.
My comp to him is it's close, but I think he's AJ Brown.
See, I don't think he's that strong. I don't think he's that. I think Jerry Jeudy is Amari Cooper at his best.
Man, Amari Cooper at his best is one of the best in the league, though.
what about
I know. I think Jerry Jeudy can be that just because he.
what about a Reggie Wayne type?
I think he's a better route runner than Reggie
I
Wayne.
think he's a better route runner than Reggie
was
Wayne too.
Pretty top of-
He's a
yeah.
great. He was a great receiver, but he was more of a. To me, what I remember watching him, it was a lot of posts, a lot of flags, because you have Marvin Harrison running the routes.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say Antonio Brown is the kind of level he's on as far as getting open.
Man, that's pretty lofty.
I'm throwing it out there.
I'm giving you AJ Brown, and you're raising me
I'm
Antonio
raising
Brown.
you. I
I can't
absolutely
go
am.
there. Can he get there? Yeah, he's probably most
that's what
likely
I mean.
to get there.
His route running ability the sky's the limit when you can run routes that well.
I'm with you.
That's what I look for. Number one overall, like, can a guy run routes with efficiency and elite style to get open? Is he going to be a 100-catch guy? Jerry Jeudy's ceiling is a 100-catch guy.
Yeah.
So I can't not compare him to greats like that.
So as I put down like him and Ridley, they literally graded out the same on NFL.com. They exact same grade. Ridley ran a 4.43, had 31-inch vertical. Like I said, Jeudy 4.45, 35-inch vertical. I think the difference is where I give Ridley the route running. I think Judy's a better deep ball threat. I
agree with that.
I know he's not faster, but 0.02 is.
That's why I like the Amari Cooper comparison a little better, because Cooper can do Ridley things and he can get deep too.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Ridley is faster than him, but it's just the Jerry Jeudy, the jump. Like that extra 4 inches is going to be enough of a jump, and I think he's an inch taller. I mean, those things matter. Those things add up. When you add 4 inches jumping, being an inch taller, we talk wingspan. These things start to add up all of a sudden to go from a really, really good guy to a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, like we already talked about his route running. He's a guy that can play outside and in. He can do both. And,
Absolutely.
And he's one of the best off the release. The only knock I really had on him, he might not be. He's not the most physical guy, but that he can still. I mean, he's going to win contested balls. I mean, he's going to.
I agree with you, but if you look at a lot of the receivers in this draft class, I will. I have the same complaint for most of them. It's like they get hit, they go down. Now, I mean, it is what it is with them. So I think we were all pretty much in agreement. He's one. CeeDee Lamb 2 for everybody.
Consensus number 2 for me as
Yeah,
well.
he's number 2 for me.
He's I don't even know if I was to grade Judy like a 9.1. CeeDee Lamb grades at a 9.0 on a scale of 10 for me. So
I feel like we're kind of in the same boat. So to roll out the stats, 6'2", so he's an inch taller. He ran a 4.5 instead of a 4.45, so 0.05 of a second.
Right.
Had a 34.5-inch vertical, pretty damn close to 35 inches. 124-inch broad jump. I didn't write down Judy's. I don't think he did, or maybe he's a little bit lower. What my notes on him, like he he understands coverage so well.
And he's a little bit stronger
Yeah.
than Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is.
there's things that could possibly elevate him to a better rookie year than Jeudy.
You're right.
So, and it's hard to make comps on some of these guys because I mean, there's differences there, but they're both extremely desirable in the draft.
So the guy he's very difficult to man up based on size, speed, strength combination. But okay, so we're going to run a zone to try to stop him. Just watch his film. Like he'll just stop 5 yards behind somebody, and he's found.
Yeah.
He always finds the right spot to be in.
Right. And he makes great decisions at the point of the catch. I mean, he's a good decision maker, even after catching the ball. Like I don't know about the size, but he is deceptively strong. So.
Yeah, and he's great after the catch. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Soft, strong hands.
And you can play him anywhere. He's that guy you can line up all over the field to make mismatches. He's not simply outside. He's not simply slot. You can put him anywhere. You can rotate him all across that field, and he's going to produce.
I 100% agree.
yeah. I mean, it's my only knock is it's not really a knock, but he doesn't have like the greatest top of the line speed. But I mean, it's plenty enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he can still hit a home run.
Right. And like Michael Irvin said, you don't need that top of the line speed. I don't know how much faith I want to put. No, I do. He's right. There are a ton of wide receivers in the Hall that weren't burners. We didn't always, look for just the burners. That's why on this list, I got a few burners knocked down a few spots. But real quick on Jerry Jeudy, I do want to add, he's kind of got that stop and start ability like CeeDee Lamb. His route running, we said, was great. He's a hands catcher. I love the way that he reaches out and plucks the ball. Him and CeeDee Lamb both. Rarely body catches. So just wanted to add a few notes there for Jeudy. He is a little slender. I'd like to see him get a little stronger. CeeDee Lamb, opposite. I mean, he's rocked up for only being 190 pounds. I love both these guys. I think they're both top 15 picks, and they both should be top 15 picks in the draft. They will be.
I feel like both of them also did a real good job of just flashing their hands quick, if that makes sense.
Yes, they both have fast hands.
Just all of a sudden, the ball, it doesn't look, it literally looks like it's going to hit them in the face. They get the hands up and back in, and they're
pluckers.
Yeah, just
Mother pluckers.
Just getting a ball that doesn't look like they're even close to catching it, and they've got it, and just pick up speed. I mean, they're gone.
Mother pluckers. Anything else to add on CeeDee Lamb? I mean, it's hard to fault these guys. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's not as good of a route runner, but it's hard to fault him because he's pretty.
He's really close.
He's really good,
he is.
but not as good means 9.0 versus 9.1.
Right.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy's the clear best route runner in the class, in my opinion. And Lamb is close.
There could
very
be
close.
arguments about, hey, this is what he was asked to do, find the spots and get.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
But I'm going to be honest with you. If the Raiders take CeeDee Lamb, I prefer Jeudy. But if they took CeeDee Lamb and that was the first receiver off the board, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'm not mad.
It doesn't seem
it
like
wouldn't-
you
it
can
wouldn't
go wrong.
shock me at all.
It wouldn't bother me one bit. I mean, I'd prefer the one, but yeah.
Yeah, it just it does not seem like you can go wrong with the first two.
Yeah.
So that being said, can we go wrong with number 3? I'll let one of you guys. I'll let one of you guys spits it out because I got a surprise.
Man, I know you guys are going to bash me on this, but I think my number 3 is going to be Justin Jefferson.
Man,
I'm not bashing it.
this is where we go haywire. So go ahead on Justin Jefferson.
6'1", the dude plays like he's 6'4". It shocked me to see him at 6'1". Had 4.43 speed, 37.5-inch vertical, 126-inch broad jump. I get the knock is like his tape doesn't look that great, but I felt like he was always open. But is that the scheme? Is that having a great quarterback and a solid running back? I don't know, but we can't just knock the kid because he might have had these other factors that made him look better.
I can.
And I mean, he had, I believe, 11 touchdowns. I want to say he finished number 2 in the country in receiving touchdowns this year. The guy's put up the production. Man, I love the way he looked on film, and he tested even better.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I like him. He's my number 4, so I mean, I'm right there with you.
Well, here we go. Let me
Once I say 6, genuinely, the way he kind of plucks it out of the air, genuinely, I was shocked that he was only 6'1".
Let me Bob Seger.
And
I was making sure I had that wrote
I probably
down
will drop him down now that I think about it, because I wasn't prepared to rank. I was prepared to just talk. I think I do have him at 4.
Let me Bob Seger you because I had to turn the page on this one. Justin Jefferson, I apologize a little bit. He's my number 9. He is my number.
Well, you clearly
9.
Blind. You don't even know what you're looking at. No.
He's my number 9. Listen, nothing. He does a lot of things well, but I didn't see anything jump out at me like some of the other wide receivers that I watched tape on.
Did you see all the touchdowns?
Yeah,
Those
I
were
did.
nice.
I also saw Joe Burrow with perfect ball placement. I saw an offense that got him wide open because Jamar Chase,
Do you think
Thaddeus Moss, CEH. Listen, I
don't
just
think any of that had to do with him getting himself
yes,
open.
I do. Here's the thing: these top 8, 9 guys are all very close together.
I'll buy that.
So,
I'll buy that.
So when I say I don't hate you putting Justin Jefferson at 4, I truly don't. Just my personal preference. I saw 8 guys that I think might be better pros by a little. It's really splitting hairs, but Justin Jefferson 9, I didn't get that excited watching the tape. I got excited about Burrow's ball placement. I got excited about the way that offense opened up the field, and I got excited about the way he goes up and can get it and make some crazy catches in the end zone. I love that.
Yeah, he's got great hands.
Hey, I could be wrong. I'm not, but I could be.
We all could be. But, I mean, the only reason I got Justin Jefferson at 9 is because I did get enamored with some guys, and I saw some things on tape that just bumped him around. And, again, to be clear, the top 8 or 9 guys, I think once you get past those first 2 are kind of interchangeable. So Justin Jefferson's my 9. He does have a big catch radius. I do love that. He was always open, but sometimes he was so wide open that it just made me question. There's no way that's all him. Like he was so wide open. And that offense I feel like that offense made it happen for Justin Jefferson. A little bit of a late bloomer too, so I worry just a little. But that doesn't mean I don't love him. If Miami drafts him, color me enamored. Because I'll be pumped. There's just a few guys I like more.
Production
7
for
of them to be
several
exact.
yees doesn't necessarily, you know what I mean? Look at Odell Beckham Jr. Look at, Landry. Production doesn't necessarily one-to-one translate into what's going to be successful.
I get it. Again, I'm splitting hairs.
Justin Jefferson's not the perfect prospect. I'm not making that argument.
No.
So, but yeah, you're right whenever you say that a lot of these guys are fairly interchangeable.
There really is. There's a lot of guys that are super interchangeable, but I'll get to why I got Jefferson knocked down to 9. Again, it's not a detriment to him, so to speak. It's more a testament to this class. Do you have anything to add on Jefferson, Hux?
No, I mean, I may have him, like you said, these guys are interchangeable, some of them. So, I mean, he could very well drop. He's not moving up anymore. 4 is the highest I'll have him. He could very well drop 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah. Landing spot could surge him up my board.
Yeah.
So, but as far as if I'm looking at my team and thinking at what point do I want to draft Justin Jefferson? It's after my first 8 are off the board.
Yeah, I mean, and him running a 4.43 at the combine impressed me because he doesn't appear that fast on game tape. So
Definitely.
So
it's possible he was that open, but I'm not buying it right now.
Well, for 6'1", he has a massive stride.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's I guess part of the reason why I thought he was 6'4". Like he looks like he's making humongous steps, but it's apparently he's 90% legs. Whatever it is, it's working for him.
Right.
Ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns. So
ton of odds. So
I don't think he can be a number 1. I think a 2 tops.
Right.
So.
And to me, a 2's not going to put him in my top 5.
And I may have
plenty
just
of
talked
ones.
him down my rankings by just us talking.
Well, let's find out where else.
I think you're wrong on that.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got the ability to be a
Hit the
number
button,
1 receiver.
Hux. Hit the button, Hux.
Hey, if you're going to do it to
Wow, I haven't
me,
hit it in
y'all
a
need
while.
one for yourselves.
This one?
Yep.
You don't.
I must be the wrong one.
There it is.
Oh, it's been too long.
been a
Once again,
long time since
I
I've hit
dropped
that.
him to 4, but there was the guy I've got at 3 is
Again, not
he is what he is.
I'm not disagreeing with you as far as like where your placement is. It's just we've got a slightly different opinion on him. So Jefferson was your what, Arms?
I had him at 3, and then I realized because I didn't rank him. Then I'm like, oh yeah, that guy,
Okay, well let's go with that guy. Who's that guy then?
T. Higgins.
Okay. So we went from 2 to 3 to 4. Okay. So T. Higgins, he's actually your 3 and Jefferson at 4 then, right?
So 6'4", like the first guy who's over 6'2", or over 6'1" over 6'2" out of the top 4. Man, he's just amazing at high pointing.
He's underrated.
He is.
In this draft, he's underrated. He would be
He's
the number 1 guy in the
He's
draft.
even
if
more
not-
underrated because he didn't do anything at the combine.
Right.
Well, yeah,
It's knocked him down. Like
but
I mean,
look at the game tape. I
Oh,
mean,
no,
everything you should need
a
to
fan.
know.
I'm a fan
Now,
of the guy.
can we make arguments about his competition? Absolutely, all day, every day. But he pretty well performed against pretty well all competition at all, at any time. My biggest knock on him is he's just slim. Like he's kind of a light frame. But you know who else had a light frame? Has had a spectacular career? AJ Green.
I kind of saw some A.J. Green and T. Higgins as well, and I hate the generic comp, but I mean, I kind of think he plays a little bit like DeAndre Hopkins as well. So T. Higgins, like you said, slender. He's slender and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
what about a Devontae Parker?
Parker's a little. I see Parker as a little more physical than that, just
Yeah.
a little bit, and I see T. Higgins with better separation than Devontae Parker. So Devontae Parker, I think they're neck and neck on going up and getting the ball, but I think T. Higgins is a little smoother, a little
I
bit
love
more
how
of a
you have
separator.
Devontae Parker as one of your bars now that you want to set.
Well, I mean,
it kind
similar
of
in
cracks
si-
me up. I mean, up
mean,
until last
the-
year, he was a turd sandwich.
No, but coming
good
out,
season.
I mean, he was.
Yeah,
you
look,
I know he
yeah.
was top
So,
5 receiving prospect.
Big
at that point.
prospect, middle of the first round. So
Him and Adams came out at the same time, didn't they?
I believe so.
Sounds right.
But T, he's very instinctive at the point of attack. Good focus, good hands. He's a little bit of a strider as well. I think he does need to refine his route running a little bit. That's why he's not up there with CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, but that could be coached up.
I will tell you, and part of it, Trevor Lawrence is, obviously going to be a really solid pro quarterback. Lawrence puts it at like 9 foot 6 inches in the air. You know what I mean? Just to the point to where my 6'4" guy is going to be the one that comes down with it. That it's worked for him, but he's going to be playing the NFL with some guys that have great ball placement as well. Hux, do you have anything else you'd like to add to CD or to T?
Just for being 6'4", 216. I mean, he's not the most physical guy. So I mean, I think
I literally, that's one of the notes. Does he ever break a tackle? Question mark.
I mean, even that, you'd think he would be a better. I mean, he's a good blocker, I guess, but you think he'd be better. You think he would be able to put the strength for being that big.
But I don't know if he has the strength.
Well,
that's the crazy thing.
I guess that's just being 6'4", 216. You think he's a big, strong guy. So
He's strong guy.
built more Michael Jordan than than Josh
Yeah.
Gordon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But you can't argue the film. You can't argue the production. I actually, again, if it wasn't for Judy and Lamb, he might be the top guy in the draft at the position.
As you said, me and you were talking on the way, both of our way home from work. You said almost any other year we're talking about T. Higgins as the number one receiver in any rookie draft.
Just about any other year.
Most
So, I mean,
years.
I think he's going to be a great pro. I mean, the size is there. He obviously has produced for a long time. I like T. Higgins a lot. He does lack a little bit of the wow factor, and I think that's why he's not higher on most pundits' lists.
It'll be interesting to see if he runs at his pro day and what kind of time he puts up.
Right.
I personally think he's probably going to be a 4.5 or lower. I can't imagine him being, at running a disappointing time.
I think around 4.5, 4.55, 4.55.
I figure 4.45 to
worst.
4.5.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump ahead of you on this one because I don't want my guy
No,
to
go
get
ahead.
lost in the shuffle too much. So we've went through, top 3 or 4
Four, yeah.
apiece. I've kind of left my 3 out until getting through some of those higher consensus guys. But my number 3, which I already know is lower on your list, but even though he's got the core injury, the game tape on Laviska Shenault was I was extremely impressed. The biggest knock, I put him at 3 regardless. Durability is going to be the knock because he has had durability issues.
It's a little bit of a killer.
But I mean, man, we're still talking about Tua with durability issues as the top 2 guy. I could not move Laviska Shenault any lower than 3. He's got burst. He's got great hands. He's a big, strong, physical receiver at 6'1", 227.
He looks like a running back out there.
He looks like a running back. He is the best comparison to me in this class to Deebo Samuel. I mean, he
I
is
like it.
he is strong.
But
His
a
eyes
bigger.
a little bit bigger. Eyes are always upfield. He's got good vision. He's shifty, hard as hell to bring down. And like Debo, a lot of snaps out of the backfield for Laviska Shenault. They had no fear in handing that to him. Like Huck said, he looked like a running back.
He ran on. I was watching some of his highlights. I mean, he was getting goal line carries.
Goal line carries. I mean, he
he lined up all over the place for Colorado.
He did. He takes contact on, like just head-on contact. He needs to work on the sharpness of his routes a little bit, and the durability is a little bit of a concern.
Are you reading my notes?
I don't know.
Like
I'm reading
literally,
my notes.
reminds me a lot of Debo and his running ability. A little rawer in route running. Like, just get out of here.
Listen,
I
man,
think Debo's
that's-
a little faster than him, though.
I don't know.
I want to say Debo's in the 4.4 range.
I don't
4.3,
care about the
4.4.
times. I look at the field speed, and I think Shenault might have him with pads on by a hair. Like Shenault, I am super pumped about this guy if he can stay healthy. Number 3 for me all day.
Yeah,
He popped off the
He's
tape.
not that high, quite that high on my list, but I've been seeing Buffalo projected him, T. Higgins. I'd be ecstatic with either one of them guys.
Oh, you
That
should
they're
be.
at 22.
For the sake of knowing, Neil also has Shenault as his number 3.
So I've got him at 5.
Okay. Again,
But
we're
we're right
this
there,
class, we're right there, yeah.
I will tell you, as I'm reviewing tape, he was the number 2 guy, the second guy I watched, and I was like, well, I could just leave him right there. Far from perfect, though, right? Solid hands, hard runner, probably the hardest to tackle out of everyone on my list.
Right.
Like, he does not go down immediately.
No.
And he's, now, really good versus contested catch. Just not a great route runner, and I think that
Yeah,
that's fixable.
Yeah, it's coachable.
Yeah, it's
but I
definitely
mean, but not
coachable.
even though it's coachable, not everybody figures it
Yeah.
out completely.
Absolutely.
So, but everything, the tools are there. Obviously, playing for Colorado, you don't hear of a ton of wide receivers from Colorado really succeeding at the next level. Who's the most, off the top of your head, who is the biggest NFL star receiver that came out of Colorado?
Cordell Stewart.
Yeah. So I mean,
I can't. The name.
there is someone.
There was one that was drafted like first round high.
Yeah,
back
there was.
several years ago. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I
We'll find him.
I don't believe he had a very successful.
Yeah, I don't think he
career,
did either.
though.
Here's what I'm going to say about Shenault, though.
Okay.
I feel like if I'm going to draft him, I want to draft him as a weapon, not as just a wide receiver. Like, he needs the ball in his hand. You know what I mean? I saw something earlier. It was like his comp is Percy Harvin. I'm like, well, they're entirely wrong. But he's fits in the weapon category for me to where, you don't just want to try to line him up and have him throw the ball. You got to get it to him in different ways. Manufacture touches, I guess, is what I'm looking for. The words I'm looking for.
Gotcha. But yeah, we got to find this Colorado. There's somebody on the tip. Somebody from Colorado was a big time prospect, and I can't remember. But on to the next. Who do we got next on here? Should we go? Let's talk about Henry Ruggs, because Henry Ruggs is on a lot of consensus top 3. I got him at number 5, and I'm iffy on even having him at number 5, to be honest.
He's my number 5 also.
I've got him at 7.
That's pretty low. See, Jefferson, Ruggs, we're kind of all over the map on him as far as.
My 6 and 7 are pretty interchangeable.
Okay.
Like, I can literally move them back and forth and wouldn't feel the slightest bit bad about it. So,
Well, that being said, go ahead. Take off on Ruggs.
All right. Yeah, Ruggs is your 5 or 6 or whatever the hell he is.
He is. He's fringe, but I've got him at 5.
All right, so basically, what I see whenever I watch tape on Ruggs, like, if every defender, you better actually have him, because if you think you have him, you're wrong. Like, it's whenever he stretches for a ball, he doesn't slow down. Whenever somebody else stretches to try to defend it, like the next 2 steps, it's like the other guy wasn't moving. He has special speed, 4.27. I mean, in addition to that 4.27, he's 5'11", 42-inch vertical to make up for his lack of height. 131-inch broad jump. So I believe that was tops of the wide receivers or near the very top. Got a little bit of Hollywood to his game, with that speed and shiftiness. But I think he's probably a better route runner than a Hollywood Brown was.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree with that.
I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, but I don't think he's as like jerky, like quick twitch. It's just everything he does looks a little more smooth. I like him. I think he's going to end up as a fine pro, but I feel like he's probably better cast as that elite level slot receiver.
That's kind of where I got him too. Go ahead.
I'm interested to see how he does, lined up, man press coverage. How he does, because he's moved around. You get the ball in space too, so I'm interested to see how he does. With some of these bigger guys that are on him with his release and stuff.
So 1995 was the year.
I found it also.
Rashawn Salam comes out of Buffalo, comes out of Colorado, plays for the Bears. His teammate Michael Westbrook.
I was going to say Salam's a running back.
No, I was just wanting to say lead up to Michael Westbrook with Rashawn Salam, big time Colorado buff that busted, and Michael Westbrook same year, big time Colorado buff.
Green Bay?
What?
Westbrook?
No, Washington. Redskins.
Okay. Who's Westbrook that played?
Same year as Cordell Stewart. That was a big draft class for Colorado.
No doubt.
Stewart,
Cordell,
Salam, Westbrook, Christian Foria. He was a big tight end prospect.
What year was that again?
95.
Man, did they have an NCAA back then? Like the game?
Yeah, I think.
Because that would have been absolutely nasty to play with. I don't think
that would have been on
like
Super Nintendo or something.
Yeah, that would. I was gonna say that'd be dirty to play with that team.
It would. Absolutely.
Just straight cheat code.
Cheat code. So Ruggs, my initial note was, oh my, exciting. He is. Dude's exciting. He makes crazy catches.
Big hands,
big old mitts. The size is what always worries me. 5'11's not crazy small. It's not. I mean, it really isn't.
That's Beckham size.
That's Antonio Brown size.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I get that. But he seems to play a little smaller. That's why we compare him. Who were you comparing him to a second ago? Drinking that sweet beer.
Sweet summer shandy.
Nectar.
No, I said he's a little Hollywood, but not quite as jerky.
Now, here's the thing about Ruggs. If somebody takes him and plays him similarly to Jarvis Landry, this guy's a slant machine. I almost said slot machine.
Can I tell you who
he can be a slot machine?
Can I tell you who he's not though?
Who?
I don't think he's Tyreek Hill.
No, he's not Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's Tyreek Hill. He's not a human joystick.
I don't see.
I've got a guy on here that I've got human joystick written on.
Whenever we talk about that's what I'm saying with the jerkiness. Like Tyreek Hill's game is catch the ball, make 7 people miss and go. You know what I
Right.
mean? In a 4x4 area, but that's not Ruggs' game. Ruggs' game is find the soft and just outrun everyone to the end zone.
Right.
And
Ruggs' game's a little
What
more
about
John Ross.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah,
I thought
Deshaun,
that, but
John Ross.
a lot of his routes are, that short slant, and he just burns through everybody. I mean, you see a lot of his highlights are just ridiculous. There's 4 people closed in on him, and he just, before they even get there,
Splits 'em.
he's 7 yards downfield.
Yep.
I think he's a better route runner than Deshaun.
I do too, and I think that's what could make him exceed my expectations for him is the route running. But man, if teams utilize him in the slant, utilize him out of the backfield, get him into space, but maybe he's more. Maybe he could be more. I'm not docking him as the number 5 because I don't think he can be more. I just see guys with higher catch potential. I see 80, 90 catch guys. I see Ruggs as 70 to 80.
There was another wide receiver that we all forgot about.
From Colorado?
Uh-huh.
Who?
Jeremy Bloom.
See, that doesn't
He's the one
really
who
resonate with
went
me.
to the Olympics for skiing
I remember
instead of playing in the NFL.
But I don't think he was. I think he was like a sleeper prospect
Yeah, he
instead
was.
of like a big time.
But I remember hearing about him a lot.
Yeah, the speed. But Ruggs, I like him. Again, Miami drafts him. I'll be excited. But I just don't see the fantasy upside. I don't like the Hollywood Browns and John Rosses of the world. I understand Ruggs could be more. If I had to place a bet, I'd say he'll be better than both those guys. But I think his floor is currently the years that they've had.
I'll buy that. Yeah.
A lot of hype around him. Any
There is.
shock you at all if he's the first wide receiver taken?
It would.
Yes. Yeah, it would shock me. It won't shock me if he's a first rounder at all,
No,
'cause
he's
I think
gonna
he will be.
he's gonna be top
Al
15
Davis
pick.
is dead.
Right.
So
I mean, there are a lot of coaches that say speed, 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 but man, it does not always translate.
you're going to see the if they draft him at 12 and he's the first receiver off the board, you're going to see that meme of the crypt keeper coming up like, take Ruggs!
Get him, put him,
Al
pair
Davis
him up with
coming
Michael
out of his
Mitchell.
groove. Yeah, no doubt. No
All
doubt.
right, so moving on. One of you, by all means, take it away.
Hux?
Haven't got to my number 3 yet, which is
Ooh.
Jalen Rager.
Oh, okay,
Okay, so that's my guy next.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
go ahead.
Where you got Rager listed, just for the sake of knowing?
So Ruggs was 7. I got Rager at 6.
Okay, I've got Rager at a tie, basically for 7. Sorry, I had to tie.
When I
him.
said 6 and 7, like they're just interchangeable.
Yeah,
for me.
they are. So I'm gonna go 7A and 7B instead of 7 and 8.
All right,
But
go on.
He's 5'11", 206, weighed in more than people were expected. Solid built guy, ran a 4.47, which is slower than he expected, and I think what most expected. But the game speed. You watching film, he looks a lot faster than
He
a
does.
4.47.
100%.
I mean, good vertical guy. Just he's a playmaker. I mean, and the confidence this guy has. I mean, this dude is nonstop on Twitter. I mean, this guy talks a good game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it shows too. But he's an exciting guy. I'm looking forward to.
he's a very exciting guy. Again, I'm gonna repeat myself so much, but if Miami drafts him, I'm gonna be jumping up and down.
What I wrote down for him was I literally drew a lightning bolt. You see that?
I see that.
I wrote electric, and then I wrote Tyreek-ish.
Yeah.
Because you want to make a comp, this is the closest we've got to Tyreek in the draft, I think.
My comp that I told you earlier is Steve Smith on him.
Yeah.
I see
Okay.
Steve Smith.
And
I like
Jalen
that.
I like
Reagor.
that too. But he's very, Rager just makes people miss out of
He's
nowhere.
shifty.
Yeah.
He's creative.
He
I
can,
mean,
he can get deep. He can play all along the field as well.
And he can get up.
Yeah, he can.
The kid's got hops. I mean, he's catching jump balls over DBs that are 2 inches taller than him. Like he's just impressive. I mean, I don't have a projection on where he's going to go as far as I think he'll be the 6th to 7th best production receiver in this draft class. But man, it wouldn't shock me if all of a sudden he's a 1,300 yard receiver in a year or two.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I think a team like the Eagles would be a
A
great
good place
fit.
for him to go and ruin his career.
Are you
Right.
kidding me? Come on,
Eagles,
now.
yeah. When was
the last time-
It's who they need, man.
Y'all, it's who they need. It ain't who they're going to use.
They need all kinds of guys at wide receiver. So somebody might be good. It is.
They need
Eagles
Judy.
wide
They need
receivers are scary as heck.
Jefferson. They need Ruggs.
Yeah.
They need they just need wide receivers. They need people
They
to catch
do.
that damn ball. Somebody other than a tight end to catch the ball. They got 2 of those.
Yep.
Odd to say, but Jalen Reagor would sure make the Browns a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I mean,
yeah. I don't know.
Not a Browns fan, just saying. I mean, I don't expect both
be the
those
number
LSU
3.
guys to stay
Yeah.
there. But
no. I
His
mean,
benefit
if
would
they,
be
if they
that-
move on from Odell, then yeah, sure.
I would like to see Rager versus Ruggs with pads on. I know that sounds
we
stupid.
will eventually.
No, I'd like to see them running in a 40 against each other with pads on.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I think that game speed Rager might be faster than Ruggs. Strength has a lot
it's
to do
close,
with that,
yeah.
man.
I mean,
Strength has a lot to do with that. So, anything else on Rager? Is
Nah,
it Rager or
just-
Rieger?
Rager.
Rager.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Just again, I'll preface with he, depending on draft position, he could move into my top 3 or 4 easily,
Okay.
just like a lot of guys on this list. Go ahead.
We probably have the same number 8.
Okay.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman Jr. is actually my number 6.
What?
I got Michael Pittman Jr. as my number 6.
Well, you like him way better than I do. You talk about him.
Okay, so
I like him, but I don't even have him wrote down.
here's my thing with Michael Pittman Jr.
I did. Sorry to cut you off. I did see that he was working out with Josh Allen today. I believe that was today.
So Michael Pittman
But
Jr.
every receiver,
It's what they need.
I know every receiver you love. We got it. You're,
know.
you're a Bill that you
Listen,
you need them all.
Buffalo needs a big-bodied receiver that can complement the speedy John Brown, and Pittman fits the mold.
He does. I don't know about big. I mean,
Well,
he's good size, but he's a little, kind of a little slender looking as
6'4".
well. He's 6'4", yeah, but he's 223.
Yeah,
he
but-
could be just.
Big dude.
He might be the strongest receiver in this whole class.
Oh, and that's
Him and
what,
Chenault are head to head.
let me get there.
All right. Whatever.
Okay, so as far as watching him on tape and looking at his physical build, his height is imposing, but his build isn't imposing to me.
Okay.
So he's 6'4", 223. Yeah, that's big, but he's not rocked up. He's not super toned. He's not super cut up, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be. Not everybody has to be DK Metcalf.
Yep.
But if he could, if he got a little stronger, he could jump up these rankings again to me. And he is strong. So you had the lightning bolt written on your guy. I got a heart written on this guy. I want this guy in Miami so bad. I
Jesus
can't
Christ,
stand it.
you can't have all the wide receivers.
I want one of them. I want one of these top 7 or 8 guys. So
I'm just sitting there like, give me Judy or Lamb. You're like, I will take any freaking of these 10
I will.
guys.
I absolutely will. But listen, here's why I love Michael Pittman. I couldn't rank him any higher than 6 because he doesn't have the same route running ability or speed or things that pop out on tape that are like this elite quality. But what he is a freaking football player, man. He's long like Jefferson. He's good with the high point. He can
He's
go up
longer
and
than
snag it.
Jefferson.
Yeah. Stiff arm. Dude stiff arms people. He fights hard for everything. Ball adjustment was fantastic. He blocked punts. He's a special teams ace. He does it all. He's sound at everything. There's no massively elite quality, but a coach is going to absolutely love Michael Pittman. His awareness is probably up there with the top 2 guys, in my opinion. Like aware of where the ball is, aware of where it's going, changing from the back shoulder to flip it around if it's thrown a little off route. He runs a full route tree. And again, he would be higher than 6 if it wasn't for the fact that he's not super fast. He's not always wide open. He actually, my worry with him is the same worry with Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker doesn't get clearly open. Neither does Michael Pittman.
So you want 2 of them on the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Shut up.
So
So
same damn guy.
So Michael Pittman doesn't get clearly open, but he is very aware of where the ball is, and those long arms, he can pick it away from a defensive back. So to me, it doesn't matter that he doesn't have elite speed, elite separation.
I
He's a
can't
football
wait
player. He's
until
going to
they
fight for
draft
everything
him,
he's got.
And you're complaining for like 3 years, then all of a sudden he's decent. Like
5 years, 4 years, and the
4
fifth year breakout is Devontae Parker. So I would complain about Pittman for 4.
And then Parker's already gone by the time Pittman develops. So anyhow,
I love Michael Pittman. Like I love him to the point to where he's the most NFL. This kid already plays like he's in the NFL. Listen, let me finish. You got your mouth dropped wide open. This is a football player. This is not your star wide receiver. This is a guy everybody's going to talk about respecting because he'll do anything the coach asks for and he'll do it well. That's why I love him.
Okay. So what I've got written down, love the hands. Strong, fast, solid routes. Personally, I think he tests better than he looks on the field. Okay? And that you basically said the same thing. He's never clearly open. But with 4.52 with the 36.5-inch vertical and that 121-inch broad jump, like he's explosive, but he doesn't look that explosive on the field. Right. He just looks to be just right ahead of everybody. Like hell of an athlete, solid route runner, but he just doesn't make anybody miss it. I don't even think he tries.
He don't try. He goes upfield.
He lacks his acceleration isn't the best. He's not really an elusive guy.
Yeah,
but I mean, great hands. He's physical.
I didn't jump out of my seat watching him, but I respected every single play that I watched of him. I had massive respect for him. He's got a nice, safe floor. In my opinion,
he knows exactly which direction he needs to go. He does not go side to side. I don't think he takes a single juke after he catches the ball. It's like, no. I need to go straight. Now, that's not always a bad thing.
He wants to run through you, but not with like bruiser attitude, just enough to get by. Stiff arm to get by, get the extra yards.
This guy is the prototypical possession receiver.
He is. That's exactly correct.
He might have games to where he catches 12 balls.
That's what Buffalo needs.
It is. It is. Michael Pittman would be a great fit with Buffalo.
Oh my God.
What? We can't say what our teams need.
No,
You're saying the Raiders.
Listen,
I only want 2 guys.
Want Judy.
You guys want 27.
But you want the 2 best.
Them all.
We're
I
happy
do.
with,
I'm in a position to draft him. He needs a quarterback.
These wide receivers are like fucking Pokemon. I want to catch them all.
Catch them all. All right, I just read a comparison.
You couldn't catch any of them.
I can't
They're
say
fast.
No, I couldn't.
I can't say I agree
There's
or
no Auden Tate
disagree.
in this class.
I saw a comparison for Pittman and Dwayne Bowe. What do you think?
That's not terrible.
What, one season?
It's not terrible.
One season, Dwayne Bowe?
Except Michael Pittman, I think.
Can I get your opinion? I don't care about yours.
I think he does a lot more than what Dwayne Bowe was willing to do. So, I mean, I don't.
Is he more Dwayne Bowe? Is he more Sidney Rice?
Yeah, I don't see. They
They
Sidney
basically
Rice.
did the same thing. They had like one season.
I don't see Sidney Rice though. I could see Bowe. Bowe's a physical guy.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine a Dwayne Bowe with Patrick Mahomes? Good Lord. Because he was a physical guy. He just just didn't produce. Anyhow, I don't necessarily like that comp though. I will say.
Well, yeah,
but it may not be wrong because he doesn't get, as Bark said, definitively open. He's just open enough and wins the contested catch.
So. 3 1,000-yard seasons.
Who, Bo?
Yeah.
Out of how many?
A 15-touchdown season.
Out of how many?
I didn't say he was a fucking Hall of Famer.
Okay, I just want to make sure that
you're saying
drop an F-bomb.
You're saying one season. You said he was good 1 year.
Okay, he's good 3 years out of.
He had 4 years over 70 catches. I mean,
out of like 27 years in the league. Whatever.
I'm gonna give you my lazy.
Basically 8 years in the league.
I'm gonna give you my lazy comp on Pittman Jr. I think he has a ceiling of Jordy Nelson.
I don't think it's a lazy comp. I think it's a good comp.
I think he has the ceiling of Jordy Nelson, and
I mean, a 1,500-yard receiver is a pretty damn good ceiling.
Yeah, it is. I think he could get there based off the fact that football player is going to do what it takes to get on the field. Coach is going to respect him, give him chances.
I'm sorry. I just pulled up Jordy Nelson's numbers because you were dogging Dwayne
like
Bowe.
1,450 yards or so.
Okay.
Yeah, Nelson wasn't great for a long period of time.
In he played 10 years.
Okay.
Bowe played 9, but his 1 year was only 7. He only had like 60 more catches in his career,
How many more yards do you have?
like 1,500.
1,500 more yards, so a whole season's worth of extra
I
production.
mean, he had more touchdowns. What I'm just saying, he had 4 1,000-yard seasons compared to Bo's 3. I mean,
But what about the middle? Like those right
he
after.
also had fucking Aaron Rodgers throwing to him.
God, Hux.
I'm
Potty
sorry.
mouth.
Who'd Dwayne Bowe have? Trent Green,
Because
which was good.
I guess. Jesus Christ,
Am I wrong?
you're wrong.
Am I wrong? Was it? Trent,
I
was
must
Trent-
be the
was it
wrong
Trent
one.
Green?
Good job, Hux.
Get out of here.
Trent
I
Green.
can't. I own the place.
But was it? Was it Trent Green?
Trent Green.
Like, are we
Trent
talking?
Green was pretty good.
Are we talking about like
he
four-
had spurts of being
Are we
good.
talking about former NFL MVP Trent Green? I think he was with the Rams,
What?
I don't know if
or
he
he's
won an
at least in
What?
consideration.
He was
Whenever he was with
pretty
the
good.
Rams, dude, he was like passing leader.
Well, yeah, and then Kurt Warner came.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Oh yeah. Listen. I'm not saying that he was
Jesus Christ.
better than anybody. I'm just saying, yeah.
All right.
Had some great statistical seasons. Who's next?
Who's next? Michael Pittman. I love him. You guys seem to like him okay.
I like him. I wouldn't be disappointed with him. When you were talking about, who were you talking about just a minute ago, said they're more number 2. I think you said Justin Jefferson's more number 2.
I did.
I think Michael Pittman's a number 2.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he does. I think he could surprise and turn into somebody's number 1. I think it's unlikely, but the safe floor translates to rock solid number 2.
And they don't have the same game, but I feel like he's in the him being a number 1 is like Robert Woods trying to be a number 1. Like you're not really
In the right offense, you could have that same Rams effect or that same Tampa Bay effect.
But we
you
saw what
know.
happened whenever they tried to make him. Whenever he's in Buffalo.
Well, it's Buffalo.
It was Buffalo.
I mean, it's Buffalo. Sammy Watkins,
Had
Zay
the best
Jones.
year of his career there. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Buffalo. There's
I mean, Robert Woods had 90 catches.
When's the
this
last
year.
time there was a
86
system-
last year.
When-
Over 1,000 yards both years.
when was the last
my
time there
point
was?
is, but he wasn't.
He's a 1A with Cooper Kupp.
When is the last time there was a sustainable wide receiver in Buffalo? Like multiple years of high
John
production.
Brown,
Multiple years of high production.
Andre Rison,
Andre Reed.
whatever, same thing.
Probably-
Rison was Falcon, wasn't he?
Anyways,
In like
moving
Brown.
on.
Probably
28.
Lee Evans.
Someone give me a wide receiver. Someone give me a wide receiver name. Let's move
How
it
about,
on.
how about your guy, KJ Hamler?
My guy?
Isn't that your guy?
No, he's not my guy.
You mentioned him.
Yeah, I did mention him, but he's a guy that I've got lower on my list. Now, granted, I've got him listed as that joystick.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy with Tyreek Hill upside, but I don't
Was
think
it like 5'7"?
5'9", 178. But I don't think he gets there. I don't think he is Tyreek. I
I
don't
think he was 5'7".
I think he's
I think
very.
he was 5'9".
I
He's
think
right.
He's a mix between John Ross and Tyreek Hill, and it could go either way. So I've got him at number 10 on my list because I'm not sold. I don't like the size. It doesn't have a great track record in the NFL as far as catch volume and consistent production in the end zone.
I agree with you 100%. The problem that I have with him is you're going to get a touchdown or nothing. You know what I mean?
That's why I got him
and
at 10.
that's frustrating whenever we're
Or
talking.
he could surprise.
He could.
I mean, he's got the talent. I'm not knocking him on talent. I just
The Julian Edelman types exist, right? You know, like the guys who are just quick twitch and get across the middle and then go.
right.
But I don't know if he's that. I don't know if he's, Tyreek. I don't know what he is because there's I know it sounds horrible because there's not a million of them, but there's a lot of these guys in the NFL that just don't pan out.
Right.
You know, if you're going to take
Especially small speeds.
if you're going to take a chance on the 6'4" guy because that's one that you're more likely to have the breakout guy than this 5'4" guy.
Right. And I've got it. Man, that's a good lead in for after we're done with Hamler, because I've got a tall guy you take a chance on. But Hamler, unless he's Tyreek, I just don't see the reason to draft him outside of. I mean, third round in dynasty drafts is kind of where I'm looking at. If KJ Hamler falls, I'll take a stab to see if he put Tyreek like.
I like the
numbers on the
Edelman
board.
comparison because I think he could be a perfect replacement
Yeah.
for Edelman there.
I will add he was solid against Okuda in college. That's
I mean,
saying
he's a good
something.
route runner. He's
Yeah.
a good, run after catch guy. So I mean,
Yeah.
Will he get lost in the shuffle a little bit in the NFL? That's what I worry about.
Possibly. Or he could absolutely be one of those, plug and play 90 catch guys.
Big time boomer bust.
1,200 yards a season. You're never going to lead the league, but, have a great season year after year. So, all right. Who's your next guy?
My next guy is Denzel Mims.
Okay.
Granted, bit of a combine star, but he was on the radar before the combine anyways. This is another big time boomer bust guy. I think watching Denzel Mims's film, he's got really impressive body control. Dude made a catch against Iowa State that did pick me up out of my seat. I stood up. Look it up. The catch at Iowa State where he contorted his body and came back for the ball in the end zone. Really impressive. Played pretty good competition. Doesn't really lose focus. I saw a lot of focus on the ball whenever he was going up for. I know a lot of receivers do that, but I kind of see a little extra with him. I had a hard time.
Did you say it loses focus?
No.
Okay.
Does not lose focus.
I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Because
No.
the kid's a hell of a ball tracker.
He's a hell of a ball tracker. I could not stop watching the highlights on this kid and the lowlights. I couldn't stop watching because I don't see a lot of room. He could be a bust, but man, if there's anybody out of this draft, he's 6'3", 210. He's plenty fast. He's got all the skills that you're looking for in a wide receiver. But again,
Do you know what he ran?
there's nothing. It was low.
4.38.
Yeah.
4.38.
Yeah, at 6'3", 210. If there's anybody in this class, in my opinion, that's going to be the next Kenny Galladay, it's Denzel Mims.
Man,
The next guy that out of camp, someone's like, this kid is super impressive.
dude, 4.38's like Calvin Johnson speed. Like that's incredible. Now I don't think he's Calvin
not, yes.
Johnson level.
He's not as big as
big or
Johnson.
refined or this
Yeah.
or that or
Hard
that.
to say anybody's the next Calvin Johnson.
Yeah,
But
we'll find it eventually, but he ain't.
But yeah,
it ain't
no,
one of
he's
these
good.
days.
He's good at contesting the ball in the air. Physical. I mean, he's a physical guy. He's a pretty solid blocker. Yeah, I mean,
he could be a bust.
he
I
could.
mean, I'm not 100% sold on Denzel Mims, but I think I said who. I want to make 100% sure. I had Pittman at 6 because I just love the way he plays. My tie for 7 with Rager was Denzel Mims.
Okay.
I just see a massive amount of upside in this guy. But he could also be Ramsey's Barden.
No, he's definitely better than Ramsey's
Yeah,
Barden.
Should be.
He's not ready.
But I saw a lot of Galladay to his game. And I just remember that year Galladay came out, Lions camp, everybody was raving about this. What would Galladay get drafted? 5th?
Yeah, he's
5th
pretty
round or
low.
something like that?
Pretty low. I don't know what it is. off the
Lambert
top of
could tell us. Lambert, he was online watching. Hopefully he can
my
tell
head.
us.
Didn't
But
they? I feel like they drafted another wide receiver that year.
probably Roy Williams or something. I don't know. Charles Rogers. Rest in
Rogers.
peace. But I
Mike
really
Williams,
love Denzel
BMW.
Mims. Out of all the tape I watched, Denzel Mims was the guy I was most excited about. Doesn't mean I think he's the top prospect.
3rd round.
Super who? Galladay?
Yep.
But
Where did he
Denzel
come out
Mims. And Denzel Mims will probably be a 3rd rounder.
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, Northern Illinois. Huskies. Woo.
So
But love Mims.
I like Mims as well. Do have him as. I mean, I think I'm on my 10th guy at this point. So I have him as 9. I have Hamler as my 10. But yeah, everything you said seems to be open a lot. There's some questions, right? We have questions about the ability for any Big 12 team to defend.
Yeah. Well, he needs to clean his routes up a lot. He needs coached up.
Yeah, the athleticism is absolutely all there.
Yep.
The natural ability to catch, and I mean, once again, we talked about this last year. You want to find something difficult, put on a helmet, put on shoulder pads, and let someone throw over your shoulder. See how hard that is, and the kid just does it over and over again effortlessly.
So I love him. I'm really intrigued. He's a guy I'm targeting in dynasty drafts big time because the name is not. He's probably going to be a back end of the 2nd round guy in dynasty drafts.
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
will take him all day at the back end of round 2, depending on the landing spot. If he lands with a team that's already got a couple really good established wide receivers, I'm going to be a little more hesitant and hope he drops to the 3rd. But
I don't know. I mean, if let's say he goes to Like I'd love to see him on like the Colts, because he's
Yeah.
something they don't have.
Yes, absolutely.
So perfect for me. Just off the top of my head, that'd be the perfect spot. For him.
They need a guy like
Other
that.
than obviously Buffalo or Miami or
Right,
Oakland or
right.
Las
Buffalo
Vegas,
or Miami is
excuse
the
me.
perfect landing spot, right, Hux?
Yeah.
But
I'd be happy
Yeah.
with a Denzel Mims in Buffalo.
a Colts landing
Like what
spot
round are
makes
you?
sense.
How many picks are you going to have in the first 3 rounds?
Miami's got enough to make it happen.
Yeah,
They got
they're
nothing.
actually good.
But unfortunately, that's one of their lower needs, even though they need a guy.
Yeah, I mean they got Preston Williams. Wait, speaking of that one, for everybody who forgot who Preston Williams is, go try to trade for him.
Undrafted free agent. That's who he was.
Yeah,
Dude's a stud.
definitely.
Put up big stats.
I've got one more I'd like to talk about, and you sent me the tape on this guy. I had actually never heard of him.
I've got another guy, too, that deserves to be in the top 10 convo after you're done. So
You got anyone else you'd like to add, Hux, or we get
No,
all your
go
top
ahead.
10?
There's one more, but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, well, I mean, you're going to talk about. I have a couple more guys, but you're
got-
going to talk about one of them.
Antonio Gandy-Golden.
Yeah.
So 4.6 speed. Watching the tape on him, like he's amazing at catching in traffic. Like it's incredible. And then when you watch the tape on him again, you wonder why the hell is he always catching in traffic?
separation.
He doesn't.
Right.
He just doesn't. And
Very
You know-
Devontae-like.
4.6.
That's my Devontae comp right there.
I got to looking because I'm like, something's off about this guy. He's an athlete. He's a good athlete. He's strong. He's coming down every time with these, but he's not separating against even inferior competition. Like, is he going to be anything at the next level?
It's, big time boom or bust.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm starting to get some distaste in my mouth for him because what was the big knock on DK Metcalf?
Route running,
lateral agility, right?
that too.
Which goes into route running. DK ran a 4.33, I think it was 4.38. I mean, stupid fast. This guy runs a 4.6. DK's 3-cone was a 7.38. This guy's is a 7.33. Almost as bad. That 20-yard shuttle that DK got basically tore up about 4.5. Gandy-Golden's is a 4.55.
Right. He's going to be a project. I mean, he's going to have to correct some things, but there's talent there.
This is your Ramses Barton.
very well could be.
Yeah.
Very well could be. But again, an intriguing guy in the third or fourth round of dynasty drafts, back into the third.
Absolutely. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, this is someone that
Dart
I target late. I don't expect much, but this is just a name to look out for. Just don't be too upset if you miss on him.
Good guy for the sleeper episode.
Yeah.
Now, Hux, before you go, I only got one guy left. You can go through
That's
your
all,
two.
no, that's all I got. I had two, and he just talked about one. So
Okay, Brandon Ayuk.
that's it.
I imagine.
go.
I imagine that was both of our guy there. 6 foot 206. He's the thing I watched about Brandon Ayuk that I really liked was for a wide receiver. Once the ball's in his hand, very subtle movements to wiggle out of tackler's
Oh, yeah,
arms,
He's a playmaker,
like
I mean,
Jonathan Taylor. I kind of look at this guy as like, man, this guy is playing a Jonathan Taylor-like game at the wide receiver position. Considered the yards after catch king in college football last year.
Really?
Yes. And again, Taylor, yards after contact. Brandon Ayuk, yards after catch. This guy's the, to me, perfect slot wide receiver to draft in this year's draft as far as value goes.
Big enough, fast enough, and
Big enough, fast enough. He needs to get a little more physical, but this is a great guy for the slot that you can get it at not top slot guy prices, and he could pay huge dividends. So this could be Jarvis Landry, like I've said his name a couple times, but it could be that kind of return on investment. I like Brandon Ayuk a lot. Nothing elite there, but plenty of speed. Great guy to throw in the slot. If he lands on the right team, he's going to be a pretty good player in the league.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, he's a playmaker. He could be he could be a special teams guy. Get the ball in his hands. He's gonna take it to the house. I mean, open field. He ran a 4.5, but he plays much faster.
He
than that.
does.
I mean,
Definitely
much
does.
faster.
Yep. And I have him at number 8, just for comparison's sake. I have him at number 8. I believe fantasy production could possibly be there as an 80 catch guy, ceiling 80 catch guy.
Do you think he's an impact immediately guy though?
No, well,
And I don't think gandy-golden is. I just wanted to talk about him because we talked about him briefly on another
It depends on what
Landing
where he
spot.
goes and how they use him.
right. Like if Julian Edelman were to get hurt and the Patriots bring in Brandon Ayuk and Tom Brady comes back, yeah, instant impact.
Okay.
But otherwise, there's not a lot of teams that I think he's instant impact on. But there's a handful that I think he would be.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he could be he's going to punt returner, kick returner guy.
Yeah, that too.
So, but when we're talking about punt return, kick return guy, and I mean, unless they prove that they are special, you're pushing borderline worthless for fantasy purposes, though.
Well, yeah, fantasy wise, no, but I'm talking about making an impact year one.
Okay,
It could be special teams.
I'm just
in-
double checking,
yeah.
see where your head's at on these guys.
Yeah, very intriguing. So that's it. We got any more? I don't think we do.
I do not have any more at this point.
We will. The sleeper episodes are going to be pretty massive because there's plenty of guys to talk about and throw into that. Obviously, we are going to touch on more quarterbacks, more running backs, more wide receivers. Next week, I imagine we'll talk a little bit of tight ends, maybe some defensive guys with those tight ends.
I wasn't sure whether it was, we were going to do that or do tight ends and maybe hit up just the last 2 or 3, 4 wide receivers.
We could probably do that as well. So, but a lot of good talent wide receiver wise in this class, and man, there's a lot. I want Miami to draft all these guys. Just take them all.
Yeah, I think this is another draft that you could see 5 to 7 go first round.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Ooh, that's a lot.
It wouldn't shock me if 8 to 9 guys went in the first round in the receiver class.
I disagree with that 100%.
Listen to Todd McShay. The dude says he could see 8 to 9 do it, and
Let's
but
go
as
through
I
them.
look
Let's
through it,
go
I
through
can
them
see it
real quick.
happen.
Judy,
Yep.
Lamb,
Yep.
Ruggs, yes.
Yep.
T. Higgins, probably. There's
Judy Lamb, Ruggs, Higgins,
Rager.
There's 4.
Rager,
I don't think Rager's a first rounder.
Justin Jefferson,
I don't
Chenault.
think Jefferson's a first rounder.
Well, Chenault would have been. I think that was that
injury
might be what
could
drops
knock
it
him
out of the
down
he
a
second.
was
little bit.
fringe. I think the second round is going to be chock full of wide receivers.
But you look at Pittman; he could get in
No.
the end of the first round.
No.
Ted Ginn Jr. was a first round draft pick.
I said
Yeah,
5 to 7.
Miami,
Top 10.
Miami made some terrible picks back in the day.
I named a list of guys that were drafted in 2004 after Larry Fitzgerald, and the only one that any of us could freaking name or repeat at this time is
Larry Fitzgerald.
Lee Evans
Oh, and Lee Evans. Yeah.
and
I forgot
Michael
he's-
Jenkins.
Yeah. So
Actually, Reggie and Roy Williams, but just because they're
Larry
legendarily
Fitzgerald.
trash.
I'm going to put the maximum first round wide receivers at 5.
Man, I don't know. It's a special class.
I said
5.
5 to 7. 7, I mean, I think might be pushing, but 5 for sure.
I think this could be the most receivers ever taken in the first round.
5.
Yeah.
Eager to see.
Yeah.
How many? Let's put a number on it. Just this is your gamble.
I'm
5.
gonna tie the record at 7.
Okay.
6. I'll meet you right in the middle.
5, 6, and 7. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. If you want to check out some fun videos, we're getting ready to do some back row reaction videos. Those are always a good time.
And
on YouTube.
the Bills and the Dolphins drafting every freaking receiver this year.
Yeah,
hope so.
it was a
Just one. I just
Every
need
one
one.
of- every one of them
I like
after-
a lot of them.
damn good 2020 draft for us, Hux.
Yeah.
Damn good draft.
Every one of them after Jerry Judy. You can have if I get Judy or Lamb, you can have the rest.
Listen,
Yeah.
Buffalo drafts 22nd. They're not going to get Lamb or Judy. So
Again, if you want
You're right.
to tip your hat into the ring, throw your hat into the ring as a podcaster, join the Back Row Network. Just send a sample of you talking about your favorite team to bark@backrowfantasyshow.com. We've got 7 or 8 teams already taken. I will go ahead and go through those teams real quick before signing off. Miami, probably the Bills, the Packers, the Patriots, the Eagles, the Browns. They're taken.
Giants.
Packers are already taken. John Eddie, I'm sorry. Packers are taken by Aaron Yekel of the Fantasy Trenches. So
the Giants.
the Giants are taken by Dan Rozier. So the rest of the teams
Cowboys,
are on
are
the
they taken?
table.
Did you say Cowboys?
Cowboys are taken. Yes, sorry.
Stoops
So-
take one.
Stoops has not. No.
Damn it, Stoops.
So there you go. The Jets are now taken by John Eddie. Thank you, John. Appreciate that a ton. Him and his buddy's going to do that.
Did you say the Eagles are taken?
Eagles are taken by
I
Bauer.
knew that. I knew it was Bauer, but I didn't know you said it.
So join the Back Row Network. Talk about your favorite teams. Send a sample. Lions are almost close to gone. Working with a guy I'm really happy to work with on that one. So send a sample over, barkbackrowfantasyshow.com. Check out the show on Twitter at The Back Row Show, at Arms Back Row, at Huck's Back Row, at Bark Back Row. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night.
See you.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.